Okay, hello, good day, good evening, Sanowem Godum, Privet is Minsk, Dobry Večer. Guys, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Yes, I like to wish each and every single one of you guys, it is Happy New Year, Happy New Year 2025 to each and every single one of you. It's been a pleasure. It is a pleasure to talk to all of you. I know I haven't done actually one of these in a very, very long time. Okay, so we're coming in loud and clear. Yes, indeed, we are. Hope you guys are all recovering from the worst of the New Year's celebration. I know I am. Yes, okay, so let's go to the chats. 14 people on so far, 10 likes, guys. So, as you know, as I've always said, please hit the like button, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, all right. So let's go straight to the chat box. Who's in it? The chat box tonight. So Serge Privet Drug, Serge Privet, Sanovan yes, Sinash the Pushayam. To you, Serge. He also asks T sure the Belarusi, da, yeah, the Belarusi сейчас. For Minsk. Okay, so hello from Tim. Yes, Serge asks, Kak Vestretil Novi God. How did I meet? How did I celebrate Novi God, the new year? Well, I met up with a couple of friends here in Minsk. We went to a party in a place called Fresh Lounge Cafe. That was really nice. And Serge said that he is in Montreal in Canada. It's a long way. So, guys, yeah, so Serge from Montreal in Canada. I'm here in Minsk. Okay, please, guys, send me a message out on the chat box to say who you are, where you are from, where are you watching from. Okay, Moldy Mold, he hears me loud and clear. Tell us, Moldy Mold, exactly where you are from. Okay, so Moldy Mold is from Dublin. Okay, yes, Moldy Mold's from Dublin. Indeed, he is. Welcome, Moldy Mold. Hello from Tim. Tim, give us a shout out. Tell us where you're from. Please tell us where you are watching from. There's Tim there. Hello, Tim. Privyet is Minsk. Yeah, Moldy Mode is watching from Dublin. Okay, Neil MacDonald, a very long-term loyal subscriber of mine, coming in from the UK with his Red Star Belgrade handle. Neil MacDonald, his profile pic. Okay, so he says, hello, IP Super Chats gone as well. Yes. Now, that's just one of the items that I just want to talk about today. Now, what happened was about 2 weeks ago, all YouTube channels based from Belarus have now been demonetized. They've all been demonetized, which means that I cannot generate any income from YouTube views. And what happens is that when you're watching from abroad, when you're watching my channel from the European Union or from any other country abroad, and Google ads pop up, you know, you're paying Google to watch my content. I don't get anything, by the way. Unfortunately, I don't get anything at all. Yeah, so that's just the way it is. So if you want to donate to the channel, you can please do so on my Patreon account. Just give me, I don't know, $1 a month. I'll be happy with that. Okay, I'll be very, very happy with that. Yes, O'Neill. So super chat's totally gone, completely gone, as I mentioned in my previous video. And I'm going to bring out 2 or 3 more videos the next week or two, because I have 2 more videos I'm currently editing right now, and I'm filming another video on the 3rd, which is a Friday. So I'll be filming there again. So yeah, so that's the way it goes. Okay. Yeah, so everything is gone. I cannot generate any money from Google, from YouTube. So the only thing I can do is basically need to go back to Ireland, open up a bank account, reopen my bank account in Ireland, and just set up a Google AdSense account from Ireland. I'm trying to work from there. So next time I'll be in Ireland, I have just no idea when I'll be in Ireland as such anyway. So yeah, so just to let you know, guys, donate to my Patreon account. It's on the channel. It's in my previous video. Plenty of links. You can donate to me on Patreon to support me and to support the channel, because I will be uploading more content within the next few days. I now finally have a bit of free time. So, and I'm also working on some videos as well. Okay, so just to let you know on that, everything is gone. Okay, hit the likes, please share, please subscribe. Okay, so we're going to be here for the next hour or so. So, guys, if you have any questions or comments for me, feel free. I will answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, so let's start then, Serge. He's asked me a question in Russian. Let me try and translate. Какой город для жизни в Беларуси? So he's trying to ask me is which city do you think is the best to live in Belarus? Of course, if you're coming from an economic standpoint, social infrastructure, it's obviously going to be Minsk. Minsk is the capital. And, Minsk is where it's at. It is the vote point, economic, political, social point of all of Belarus. But if you're asking me to choose my best city outside of Minsk, I would say it's Gomel. Some people say it's Grodno or Brest. I have been to both of those places. I have made videos about these two places on the channel as such. But yeah, I like Gomel. Gomel just strikes a nice chord with me for some reason. Okay, so that's just my opinion about best cities in Belarus. Obviously, Minsk is the place where you want to be. It's the capital. It's the center of economic, political, and social life. It has the best infrastructure here. But if you're looking for a bit of a laid-back vibe, provincial vibe, for a good city to live and work in, it is, of course, Gomel. And my good friend Denis Kushnerov, he is a channel. And he comes to Belarus every summer. I have collaborated with him, and he loves Belarus. He loves Belarus. He loves Gomel. I love Belarus, and I like Gomel. That's what I want to say. Anyway, so Neil MacDonald from Glasgow in Scotland. Welcome, guys. Let's move on. Abdul Ali comes to us from Ottawa in Canada. Yes, the hell that is Canada under Justin Trudeau. God help you, Abdul Ali. Tim from the UK, from Perfidious Albion, coming in there. Many a time I spent in Perfidious Albion. Yes, the remnants of once was the British Empire, decaying imperialism. Indeed. Okay, Serge says, in Belarus, do you have to pay taxes from profit on internet? I only generate beer money off of this, but I don't think so. Okay. Anton Sherbin, hi, how are you? Anton, I am good, thank you very much. Give us a shout out where you are from. Oh, it says Anton is from Minsk. Maybe he's a neighbor of mine. So yeah, Anton, if you want to meet up sometime, just send me a message on my Instagram account at Irish Partisan if you want to meet up. Okay. Message from Michael Dregfax. Are you in town for the upcoming presidential elections? Do you plan on recording a video on it? Be it your own opinion or street footage, all the best for 2025 from Vienna. Yes, I'm here the whole time. So what probably will be mentioning the presidential elections sometime in some place in one of my videos. I'm not really a political channel, but I will be mentioning it, by the way. I have covered some political topics in the past. Okay, and of course, if they do affect Belarus, I will be covering them. Okay, Serge, back to me, says, what's the most remarkable happening in last year in Belarus with you? That's a very, very good question. Nothing much to say what's happened with me over the last year. So it's been it's pretty normal, to say the least, here in Belarus. I've just been plugging away. I've been busy at work. And, I've been doing some other things as well, along with my personal life. I host some English-speaking clubs here, it's my free time and as a pastime, doing a favor for a friend. So that's exactly what I do here. And, yeah, just tipping along, chilling out, enjoying life here. That's the way it should be. I hope you're all having a very good and a very nice New Year's Eve. For those guys who have joined us late, Sanavum Godam, Happy New Year to you all. So hope you're all having a very, very good New Year's Day. I know I had. I went out last night. So I went to a party in Oktyabrska Street, a New Year's Eve party. We brought in the New Year with champagne, fun and games, fireworks, all that kind of stuff, and then we I went into Zubitskaya and ended up in two bars. One place called Moss and the Honky Tonk Bar, where we had a bit of live music, enjoyed live music, and until about 4:30 a.m. this morning. So I'm a bit hungover, as you'd say. Okay, yeah. So that's exactly what's happening with me, Serge. Thanks for watching all the way from Montreal in Canada. Bonjour. Okay, Neil MacDonald. Yeah, only a few weeks to attempt another color revolution. Barely succeeded in Moldova, currently failing in Georgia. Hard to believe they still use the same tactics. Well, I said it once and I'll say it again. When it comes to dealing with neocons, there's no reverse gear, none whatsoever. They'll just keep plugging away, keep at it. And the thing about Georgia is that, the neocons, they've been defeated for now, but as the old saying goes, the war is that we've won the battle, but the war is not over. They'll keep on plugging away as they did in Syria and Moldova and in Ukraine, and they've been attempting in Venezuela for the last 20 years. And also with Trump coming to power in the United States, they're going to attempt another one again in Cuba. But in relation to the Cuban Revolution, the Cuban Revolution has actually buried, they've actually planted deep roots within Cuban society. So I think that they will, head off any attempt of a color revolution in Cuba, hopefully anyway. So the revolution, viva la revolucion. Okay, so yeah. So so the thing about Moldova is that Maya Sandu, she she's talking about the EU, talking about free, fair elections, that kind of crap. But she was only elected by a bit of the, how would you call it, a bit of rigging. Moldovans in the EU were allowed to vote, whereas Moldovans living in Russia were not allowed to vote. So yeah, there you go. And also in the case of Romania, where was his name, Georgescu, he won the election on a peace platform in relation to the U.S. proxy war in Ukraine. But the van der Leyen rang up Romanian compradors and basically said, we're not going to accept this. Rerun the election until it's in our favor. So that's exactly what happened. And so they use all these catchy buzzwords like democracy and so on, but they don't believe in any of them. Okay, they only like democracy as long as it's acceptable to them. And Moldova and Georgia and Romania and Ukraine is evidence of that. Okay, so yeah. So Neil MacDonald, they won't give up. There's no reverse gear with neocons. All right, so now let's move on. Thank you very much for that, Neil MacDonald. If anybody wants to make a donation to me here, you can't, because I have been demonetized. This channel has been demonetized. So if you do want to make a generous donation or any kind of donation at all, $1, €1 or anything, you could do so on my Patreon account. Just go to Patreon, Irish Partisan. I am there. And the link is also in other videos that I have made as well. Okay. Michael Cohn. Hi, Neil. Happy New Year from Manchester. Went to the USSR in 1982. Was in Minsk. Beautiful. I think, yes. It was beautiful then, and it's still beautiful now. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. Okay. So was it for a football match or was it for vacation, Michael? Just tell us there. Okay, Serge, the ecological situation in Gomel is okay. Radiation level is normal. Gomel, yes, it is normal. Getting back to talking about Chernobyl, as you recall, about 3 years ago, I went to the Polesia Radiological Reserve in southeastern Belarus. I needed permission from the government to go there because it's in a restricted zone. And it is unfortunately, I had to, whatever. I needed permission from the Belarusian authorities to go there, to access there, and to film there. And yeah, it's a great video. I went there with Natalia, a good friend of mine. And yeah, you can check it out, guys. It's up on the in the library, in the archive, the Belarusian Chernobyl zone. Okay. So yeah, speaking of permission to travel to restricted regions, you're probably aware of what happened to a guy called Sabbatical. Tommy's his name, and he was recently arrested in Russia. And I'll be honest about it, guys. I don't have a lot of sympathy for the guy, because what on earth was he doing filming in a restricted area, in a restricted border zone, 20 kilometers border zone, right on the border between Russia and China, without a passport? What an absolute idiot. And it's not the first time that it has happened to him, because last year, as far as I recall, or the year before last, a similar thing happened to him when he was in the DR Congo, when he was where was he? He was in Elizabethville, Lubumbashi, and he was arrested by the police there for not having permission to film. And anybody who has done any kind of research, whether it be Russia or in the Congo, especially in Katanga region, southeastern Congo, would know that it's highly sensitive area. There are a lot of military posts and so on in Lubumbashi, Elizabethville. And you just can't go in there, like a foreigner, and just film what you would like. You need a permission from the authorities. And of course, he got picked up, got arrested, and he was thrown out of the country, given 72 hours to leave the country. So he's an idiot. And it's just basic research. If you go to a country, doesn't matter where it is, if it's Russia, Belarus, the Congo, Ireland, wherever, France, UK, you respect the laws of the country and you obey the police. Simple as that. Just because you're an American does not allow you to break any kind of law. It doesn't give you any immunity from any kind of law. You obey the authorities and you obey the police. You respect the country that is hosting you. Simple as that. And that is advice that I'm going to give to each and every single one of you guys. If and when you want to go to any country and film there, always do prior research. And Tommy didn't do that. He didn't do it in the Congo, in Katanga, and he didn't do it in Russia when he got picked up and arrested. Idiot. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, about that. Panzer Ivan. Hello, Panzer. Guten Tag. Happy New Year. Hope you managed to celebrate things twice. Yes, in Belarus, we're very unique in that we have two Christmases. We have the Catholic Christmas, or the Western Christmas, on the 25th of December. That's the Christmas that I celebrate. And also then we have the Orthodox Christmas, which is on the 7th of January next. So we also have a day off on those days as well. We also have a day off tomorrow on the 2nd of January. So that'll give me time to edit my latest video and to upload it tomorrow. I'll be doing a bit of filming this week and next week because I have these days off work. And speaking of celebrating, guys, you probably know this guy here. This is the famous Dikaya Utka Wild Duck Vodka. Mr. Bold, my good friend Mr. Bold, actually, he recommended this vodka to me, Dikaya Utka Wild Duck. So since it's New Year's night, why not have a bit of wild duck? Let's have a New Year's toast together, guys. Come on, let's have a New Year's toast. Get out the vodka, get out the Dikaya Utka and the vodka. Let's celebrate. Okay, so I'm filling up my glass with Dikaya Utka. There it is. Okay, with my Sweden vodka glass. So, guys, Happy New Year to each and every single one of you. So, Novam Godam on the hatch. So, Novam Godam. Ovlin Fivashadiv, as they say in Irish. Whew, that stuff is really good. Dikaya Utka. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, yeah. Let's get some vodka in. Dikaya Utka. Wild duck vodka. Come on, let's do it. Okay, anyway, so let's move on then. Okay, so Serge, do you plan to visit some countries soon? If yes, where do you want to go? Yeah, good question. So of course, this summer I do plan on visiting a number of countries. Yes, I will do. The last country I was in was Portugal. It didn't get a lot of views, unfortunately, on my channel, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, I was asked last September when I was doing my GOML Q&A, would I be visiting Yugoslavia? And I said, definitely, I will visit Yugoslavia before I retire from YouTube. That's definitely happening. Also, as well, I have been thinking also as well about Africa, particularly East Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia. I want to check out these countries. They're all English-speaking countries as such, and I have met people from there. I have friends from these countries, and they tell me the whole time, you got to check out our country. I worked with a lady from Zimbabwe many years ago, and she said, you got to see my country. It's a beautiful country. And I said, yeah, why not? Modesta, I will see your country. Yeah, so it'll be good. I want to go to Africa, do the southern Africa, and then after that, then check out the West African countries. I'll have to brush up on my French though. Go to places like Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea. Where else? Cote d'Ivoire. Might do Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, and go to maybe Nigeria, and then do the two small countries, Benin and Togo. I want to check out the old German radio station. There's in the jungle in Togo. So the world is a big place. It's not just Belarus. So I have a lot of plans, a lot of places to go to check out. So let's see what happens with these places. But I will need a yellow fever vaccination to go to some of these countries. But definitely I want to check out if for any reason that, whatever happens to my job, I still have the YouTube channel. And this is a great outlet for travel and so on and so forth. Okay. Let's move on then. Thank you very much for that, Serge, for the question. Guys, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do so on my Patreon page. Don't send any money here because you're only giving it to Google, not to me, I'm afraid. Okay, let's move on. Neil McDonald, I was in Minsk in September. I really liked it, and it's good to see the visa-free has been extended for 2025. I encourage all to make use of it. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Neil. Just to announce, as I will announce in my next video that I will be posting up tomorrow, Belarus has extended the visa-free regimen right up from today up to and including the 31st of December this year, December 2025. So guys, there's no excuse not to visit Belarus. It is there, visa-free. My recommendation to you is to fly into Vilnius and get the bus from Vilnius to Minsk. It's visa-free, no more excuses. Off you go. Get the opportunity to visit Belarus because Belarus in summer is absolutely amazing. Make no mistake about that. It's a beautiful country, especially in the summer. My videos prove that when I was traveling around a lot more during the summer. In relation to Belarus here, I don't have many places left to cover. There are a couple of places up in Vitebsk Oblast and Vitebsk Oblast on the Russian border, and also in Braslav, Lake Narich region, which I want to cover before I wrap things up in relation to the Belarus side of this channel. Okay, so yeah, guys, visa-free Belarus, come and visit, check us out. Okay, let's go to Anton, and he said, Patreon is blocked in Belarus, isn't it? I even can't open up web page only using VPN. Yeah, use the VPN. Yeah, it's blocked. Sanctions, absolutely unbelievable. It's the international US-based international rules-based order underpinned by hypocrisy and the double standards. Israel isn't blocked, but Russia and Belarus is. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, there you go, hypocrisy. Anyway, I'll say no more about it because YouTube will definitely ban me. Okay, Sam Paris. Let me just go through some of the comments. The comments have been coming in quick. Okay, yes, hang on a second. Sam Paris. Talked about Gomel last September. I asked a couple of questions about the dentist and hotel to stay in Gomel. You advised me the Saj Hotel. It was a very good choice. I love the city. I spent 1 full month. I'm glad to hear you spent a really nice 1 full month in Gomel. That was good. Yeah, I used to stay in the hotel circus with Mr. Bold back in the day. When was the last time I was there? I stayed with Bold 2019, 2020 with Mr. Bold in the hotel circus. That's the best hotel in all of Gomel. The Saj is also quite nice as well. Friendly staff. Okay. Serge, who do you constantly watch on YouTube? In terms of travel, of course, it's Mr. Bold and Bankrupt, good friend of mine. Yes, speaking of which, I might be doing a collaboration with Mr. Bold, maybe this summer. So stay tuned on that. Also, there's another guy I watch, a guy called Kino Eve. He's a French guy who's currently cycling around Africa. You should check it out. He's really good. Kino Eve is his channel. He's currently in Namibia. So he started off about 3 years ago. I think it was in France, made his way across Europe, down through the Levant, Egypt, went to Sudan, all the way down the east coast of Africa. He hit some problems in Ethiopia, went down to East Africa, and now at the moment he's currently in Namibia. That's where he is right now. I've been watching his channel, Kino Eve, and it's kind of inspired me to check out Africa. I just want to go to Africa one day. I'd love to check it out. So that'll be pretty interesting to check out these countries. Okay. And also, yes, I will do Yugoslavia. So don't worry about that. Okay. Yep. So that's why I watch Kino Eve and, of course, Mr. Bold. Okay. Damien says, would you tell your younger self to watch less YouTube? How much of the content you watch do you remember a week later? It all depends on how good the content is. As a piece of advice that I often get is, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, keep your content creative. Don't copycat, be innovative, and you will be remembered for your various videos. That's all I'll say. So yeah, keep it straight, keep it simple, keep it original. That's the best advice I will give to people who are about to, who have already stepped out into the YouTube world. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. That's it. Well, okay. Anton comes back. He said, my favorite cafeteria is BSUR Stolovia #1 near the Riga. This is the Targovny Center Riga. I've even done food o'clock videos in my TikTok. Yeah, I think I was there. #1. Yeah, I was there actually. I did a food o'clock from there. That's Stolovia #1. I'm nearly certain I did. If I haven't, yeah, I'll check it out and see if I haven't. But I will be doing a food o'clock this Friday from an undisclosed location here in Minsk. Okay, so just to check it out. Okay, yeah. So what's my favorite cafeteria or Stolovia? I think it's the one on Jakub Kola Street, the Belarusian State University one. That's absolutely awesome. It's more Soviet than it hasn't changed since Khrushchev, and it's got awesome food there, and it's the cheapest in Minsk. Okay, it's actually on my channel. I've done it. I've done the food o'clock from there about 2 or 3 years ago. Okay, moving on then. So yeah, Equalizer. Hello. Do regular Belarusians know about Serbia, and what do they think about us? Now, let me just tell a little story about this one. So during the illegal NATO bombing of Yugoslavia back in 1999, President Alexander Lukashenko visited Yugoslavia and met Slobodan Milosevic, who was the president at the time, and to show solidarity between Belarus and Yugoslavia. And from me, well, Batka gets the two big thumbs up from me for that. I opposed the conflict at the time. I still do. I'm a big supporter of Serbia, big supporter of Yugoslavia, big supporter of Tito. So yeah, I've always been a big supporter of Serbia, and I want to check it out. I've been there before, but those were in the days before the YouTube channels. But yeah, so people do here, especially the older generation, when they associate Serbia, I suppose they look to the Titoist past. And of course, the war of the 1990s, the NATO bombing of 99, and they have like a friendly relationship between Belarus and Serbia. However, the pro-Western opposition here are more inclined to support the Kosovo Albanians and NATO, but they're in a minority. Thank God for that. But yeah, people here are very receptive, very friendly towards Serbia, as I am, as always, as I have been since the late 1980s, as such. Okay. Yes, Serbia, Anton, Serbia, great. Serbians, braća, are brothers indeed. Yes, they are. Okay. All right. Sweden Absolute is the best choice vodka, Nazadrovia. Yes, so guys, as I said before, Dikaya Utka, Wild Duck Vodka. Let's have another shot of this, shall we? So here we go. Wild Duck. Let's pour in some vodka into the glass. I don't have a lot of it left, by the way. But anyway, guys. Nazadrovia, Slanta. I got drunk last night. This is not good for my liver. Ooh. All right. Michael Cohn, coming back to me from a previous question that I made. Went to the USSR with Yorkshire Tours, where we were at the time all members of the Communist Party. I presume this is you're talking about the Communist Party of the old Communist Party of Great Britain, the revisionist party, because the party that I support in the UK is the Communist Party of Great Britain, Marxist-Leninism, and there's a very good channel you should check out. It's called the Marx Engels Lenin Institute. And a guy called Alex Mackay runs almost daily podcasts, videos about different topics, okay, about Marxist-Leninism and, of course, international world events, Syria, Ukraine, Venezuela, Cuba, Palestine, etc. Okay. So, yeah, so I presume it was, Michael, with the old Communist Party of Great Britain. There's another one called the Communist Party of Britain, and they print the Morning Star newspaper. Anytime I was in the UK, I used to read it quite a lot. The Morning Star. It's adopted a revisionist policy as such. Okay. Moving on then. Okay, so Zoran Vanska, u meni je bilo boljše kiem dostačna pitva. Okay, yes, it is my favorite. Okay, Menavrica, Dikaja Utka. Okay. Predrag Nisic, Yugoslavia is dead. Yugoslavia will never die. It will live on in the hearts and souls of every Yugoslav who wants it. And I do believe that it will come back. Yugoslavia will return. It will return one day. Absolutely. When US imperialism, when it is defeated eventually, it will take time. The defeat of US imperialism will take a long process, but it is going to happen, and it will happen. And I have no doubt that Yugoslavia will come back. I presume, Predrag, you're from Serbia. Okay, I like Serbia, by the way, country that has always been in my heart. Let's move on. Casa asked me, what's it like reading about international news from Belarusian papers? Do you find it balanced and fair or very biased towards one side? Well, guys, as I always said, when you're reading anything, when you're getting sources from, doesn't matter if it's from east or west, there are going to be different biases towards either side, whether it's BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN, RT, Novosti, Xinhua in China. But it's up to you. Make up your own mind. But I can tell you this: a lot of the media from the West is just absolute brain scour. Let me tell you that. Okay. Yeah. So there are biases everywhere, and it's up to you to sift through, sort it out. But I will say this. The first time I visited Yugoslavia was way back in 2002, 2003, and everything that I was told about Serbia and Yugoslavia was turned on its head, upside down. And here's another anecdote as well. A relative of mine was a captain in the Irish Army, and he served in Bosnia for the UN during the Bosnian War. And I recall that when he came back, he told me that anything and everything that you have heard, seen, or read about the Bosnian War, it's the exact opposite. That's all I'm going to say to you about how balanced Western media is, and as such. Okay, let's move on then. The South Portugal is a good choice for living. Yes, I liked Portugal, by the way, when I was there. I spent 10 days in the Azores. Beautiful. I actually thought about staying there for good in the Azores. It's a beautiful part of the world. It's a beautiful place, and I really enjoyed Lisbon. I stayed with a friend of mine in Lisbon city centre. Loved Lisbon. Great place. Definitely livable, but if they could do something about property prices, etc., that would be awesome. Okay, Zoran van Sky, yeah, is Balkane, yes. Pozdrav. Equalizer, Anton, thank you. We in Serbia also see Belarusians as Slavic brothers. I see your family name is Sherban. Do you have Serbian ancestry? Good question, by the way. Yes, so Serbian. Sherbin, maybe it is. Yeah, there was, I think, was there a Serbian village in Ukraine back in the day? So yeah, that'll be useful to check out someday. Yep. Zoran from Yugoslavia here, living in Dublin at the moment. Yes, from Yugoslavia, the once future Yugoslavia. It will return. Okay, as in Africa, let's see. Let's go back. Scroll through the comments. Okay, Serge says in Africa, also be careful from mosquitoes. Yeah, well, bring a mosquito repellent. I recall that when I was in Cobrin, I was eaten alive by mosquitoes. So yeah, I'll try it. Next time I'll bring my mosquito repellents. Okay. Okay, Equalizer, I tried to dig my Serbian roots. I actually have some relatives there. Maybe you do. Would be no harm to try and discover your Serbian roots. Okay, great people, by the way, very hospitable people. And of course, the food there is absolutely amazing. There's actually a Serbian grill here in Minsk. What's it called? Srpskaya kuchnia, or the Serbian kitchen. It's nice pleskavica and cevapi, but no Ivar. I was shocked when there was no Ivar. Maybe there is Ivar, and they need Yellen Pivo as well. Okay, so yeah, moving on then. Serge comes back. Are there any new rules for immigration to Belarus in New Year? If you know, can you tell us? I don't know any new rules about immigration as such. The only thing I know is that after 3 or 4 years of continuously living here, you can apply for a permanent residency, which gives you the right to live here for 5 or 6 years. So things have changed as such. Yeah. So those are the rules. And also, of course, the visa rules have changed as well. Now we have European Union and European citizens have visa-free access to Belarus for 30 days. I think it's 90 days per year. So yeah, no more excuses. You can visit Belarus on the visa-free from now up to and including the 31st of December this year, 2025. The best time to visit Belarus would be summer. So anytime from May to September, it's the time to come. Definitely come to Belarus. Okay. All right. Let's move on then. Anton has plans to visit Serbia. Yes, highly recommended you go to Serbia. I want to go back there again. RVP 42. Greetings from Dublin. Happy New Year, Neil. Happy New Year to you and Ovlin Free Vasha Dit. Okay, let's see. Kakiolas. Hello, everyone. Okay, Zoran. I grew up there. My mother is Serbian. Zoran, what's your father? Is he also Yugoslav? Okay, Damien. How often do you go to Russia? So I've been to Russia a number of times. I've been to Moscow. I've been to where else have I been to? I've been to Yekaterinburg and been to a few smaller towns in the Sverdlovsk Oblast. I went to Chelyabinsk. And also, the last time I was in Russia was in 2019, where I spent 8 days in Kaliningrad. Amazing place, amazing holiday. I loved Kaliningrad. Seeing all the old German reminders. That was back in 2019. Completely different world now. And then you were allowed to go to if you visited Sovetsk or Tilsit. That was right on the border with Lithuania. I went up to the border post. That was the border post between Lithuania and Russia. Now you can't do that because of the changing geopolitical situation. Unfortunately, that's just the way things have gone. A new Cold War. Okay, so I haven't been to Russia since then. I want to go back to Russia, and also as well, I got news from my good friend Andrei Burdenkov to say that it's 90% certain that Russia this year will recognize mutual acceptance of Belarus visas. That's for permanent or temporary residence Belarus visas. So if that comes, I think I'll be on my way to St. Petersburg or Moscow. I want to check out St. Petersburg. I've never been there before. So I want to go to St. Petersburg. I want to check it out. Okay. All right. Neil MacDonald, Little Chinese Everywhere is a good channel. Her vid from far west China are great. No sign of the Uyghur genocide, of course. And the landscapes are awesome. Yeah, this is kind of like, again, another lie. We've heard it all before. I recall back, that's the first Gulf War back in 1990, Iraqis throwing Kuwaiti babies out of the incubators. Fast forward to the Yugoslav conflict, 1999, the Serbs are throwing all the Albanians down the wells. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Gaddafi, his troops are mass raped. They're taking all of the Viagra to do it. Assad using chemical weapons on his own people. It all proved to be complete nonsense. So yeah, don't believe it as such. Okay, let's move on then. So, and again, the Uyghur genocide is total bullshit. Okay, let's move on then. Okay, Anton, Equalizer said, you will like Serbia, I'm sure. I also have plans to visit Belarus one day. Well, no excuse, guys. No excuse at all. Okay. Zona von Sky, I grew up in communistic Yugoslavia and I don't have anything nice to say about communism. It all depends on when you grew up in Yugoslavia, Zoran. When exactly did you grow up? Did you grow up in the 1980s, in the late 80s, early 90s, when the Yugoslav system started falling apart around the same time as the Soviet system? Did you grow up in the 1960s and 70s when it was good? But I do realize and do recognize that with Titoism, there were many flaws with Titoism. And one of those flaws was the acceptance of loans from the World Bank and the IMF, which basically shackled Yugoslavia to Western globalist financial institutions. And when Tito died in 1980, and from Reagan administration in 1984, when they began demanding that Yugoslavia repay its debts, that's when things started falling apart. So yeah. I think the DPRK, North Korea, has taken the correct approach to not have anything to do with the IMF or the World Bank, all about being an autarky or self-development. But yeah, tell us when you grew up in Yugoslavia, because about 20 years ago, I met your former prime minister when I was there, Ante Markovic. Met him. I had a brief conversation with him. Nice guy, and he told me about the crisis in Yugoslavia in the mid to late 80s when they were trying to repay the debt. I think he mentioned to me that the interest alone on the debt payments was like 4 billion per annum. So that was a lot of money, to say the least. Okay, yeah. So tell us exactly when you grew up in Yugoslavia. Okay, but it's things right now in Serbia aren't exactly so good, and the Western imperialists, they destroyed Yugoslavia, and now what you got is you have 6 fragmented states, including a satrapy, which was illegally hewn out of Serbia, Kosovo, and Metohija, which is an integral part of Serbia. And yeah, it's a pity what has happened to Yugoslavia, but I think one day the Yugoslav peoples, they will throw off Western imperialism, the Western imperialist yoke, and their local comprador classes. Okay. So Equalizer said, yes, Irish partisan. Let me just scroll. Thank you for your support. Yes, I remember when Lukashenko visited us during the NATO bombing. It was, I will never forget it. Yes, absolutely. Back in 1999, I think he was the only leader from Europe or the world to visit Yugoslavia at the time to show solidarity with Yugoslavia. Yeah, so that was good. So thumbs up for Batka for that. Zoran, Yugoslavia will return for sure. We're all going to need some new generation to rebuild it, because today is a sad situation. Yeah, especially what's happening right now in Serbia. It's tragic to see what has happened. But this has all come out, of the post-Titoist situation and the direction in which Tito's Yugoslavia took in 1949 with the break with the Soviet Union. And it's a pity, but I think it will come back as such, reconstituted, socialist and secular. Okay, Equalizer, he acted as a true friend. He visited wounded people in hospital. Yes, he did. I recall that. I remember that. Absolutely. It's Dale Konya. Happy New Year from Michigan. Love the channel. Thank you very much, Dale. Happy New Year to you over in Michigan. Also, I have a friend of mine living there, Sergey from the Ushanka show. Yes, so push the likes button, guys. Thank you for reminding me that, guys. So please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Please push the like button. Please subscribe. Thank you. Dan, you're a communist. I'm an Irish Republican socialist. That's what I am. Marxist-Leninism. Yeah. Zoran Fanskaya, father was Croatian Catholic, mother Serbian Orthodox. I'm a mix of the enemies, like in that song from the Dubliners, Orange and the Green. Yeah, absolutely, man. You're a true Yugoslav. I recall one of my visits from Serbia. I was visiting it's a town north of Belgrade, a place called Stara Pazova. And I actually saw how multi-ethnic, how Yugoslav Serbia really is, because like there were so many different nationalities living there: Slovaks, Croats, Roma, Jews, Muslims, Albanians, Hungarians, a lot of different people there. Yeah, and I even got my passport stamped in Stara Pazova by a ethnic Slovak policeman. So that tells you how mixed up Serbia is. Yeah. So you're a true Yugoslav, Zoran. So yeah, I'm 45 years old, so you can imagine the 90s. So you would have come of age at the very tail end of socialist Yugoslavia. So we're talking about 1990, 1991, going into the Milosevic era. But you wouldn't have obviously been around earlier from the 1960s and 70s. I have met people who lived through the golden period of Yugoslavia, through the Titoist times, from the 50s up to the mid to late 70s, and they have a lot of good things to say about it. Okay, so yeah, I also my good friend Tall Travels, who's half Serbian. Check out his channel as well. He visited Yugoslavia in the early 90s, the time when they had the runaway inflation. And yeah, they were throwing Yugoslav dinars away like confetti. That tells you how worthless the currency became in the 90s, because I recall that Yugoslavia was spending something like 70% of its state revenue on the Yugoslav People's Army, on the defense during the war in Croatia and Bosnia. Yeah, and that's why Ante Markovic resigned. Okay. Neil MacDonald is back, taking the bus from Gdansk to Kaliningrad next Thursday, flying on to St. Petersburg, have a multi-entry Russian tourist visa secured in my passport, already have Super account and Mir card. Well, enjoy your trip to Russia. I envy you. I wish you were. I wish I was going to Russia. You know, that would be awesome. Okay, let's move on then. Zoran, born in Belgrade. I love Belgrade. What a place. I've been there many times. I have friends there. I must reconnect with them. So definitely this summer I want to reconnect with Belgrade. That would be awesome. Okay. If hypothetically, Damien said, you were given indisputable proof of the crime shortcomings of historical socialist regimes you support, would you change your mind in terms of supporting them? What do you mean by that? You know, I often get these kind of questions coming at me from Western liberals. You know, if you want to play that game, you know, how about we do the crimes of capitalism, the crimes of imperialism, the crimes of fascism? Yeah, I'm not saying that bad things didn't happen. Mistakes did happen, of course, but you know, if you're referring to Holodomor, that was a myth. Okay, that was a myth peddled by Ukrainian nationalists. Okay, so if you want to do some more reading about that, I recommend Grover Furr about the Holodomor. Okay, moving on, Dave the Rave. Well, the Jack Ian is live streaming. How are you, buddy? I'm not a Jack Ian. I'm not from Dublin. I'm from Waterford. In case, okay, presidential elections next week. They're actually on the 26th of January. So another nearly 4 weeks from here. So yeah. Okay, moving on. Blah, blah, blah. Damien says, do you have any advice for overcoming a gambling addiction or porn addiction? Yeah, get a life, Damien. That's what I'd say to you. Okay. Ford asks, can we get rid of the EU and bring back Yugoslavia? Yes, we can. The EU, I have often said it and have faced a lot of fire over this. The EU is just an appendage of American and German imperialism. The only way that we can defeat Western, British, American imperialism and the EU is by the working classes mobilizing in these countries and overthrowing the ruling classes. Because until then, the problem is still just going to go on and on and on. As such, people need to take control of their countries. They need to take control of their borders. Such. They need to take control of their destiny, because in many EU countries, they are controlled by an elite who basically are unanswerable to their own people, and they're answerable only to the forces of US imperialism. So the working classes, they need to mobilize in the imperial core countries in the EU. I'm talking about France, Germany, the UK, especially Italy, and to overthrow their elites. Okay, that's the only way imperialism will be defeated. And with the defeat of imperialism, Yugoslavia will return. Okay, okay, let's move on. Cheers to you, Batka, Zoran from Scottish Partisan. Don't forget, Yugoslavia is not Tito's idea and not communistic idea neither. It's King Alexander who created Yugoslavia. Actually, Yugoslavia or the pan-Yugoslav movement was created in the mid-19th century by a group of, I think it was Croat intellectuals in the University of Zagreb. So it wasn't Tito's idea or King Alexander's idea to begin with. If you also recall from history, Gavrilo Princip and the Mlada Bosna movement, the Young Bosnian movement, was a pan-Yugoslav movement. Its aim was to expel Turkey and Austria-Hungary from the land of the South Slavs, what would eventually become Yugoslavia. In relation to Tito's concept of Yugoslavia and King Alexander's concept of Yugoslavia, yes, both of them were believed in Yugoslavia, but their concept of Yugoslavia was obviously different. King Alexander and the Karađorđević dynasty wanted a royalist Yugoslavia that was controlled by the royal family, that's dominated by Serbia, whereas Tito's idea of Yugoslavia was bratstvo i jedinstvo, brotherhood and unity amongst all the peoples. Everybody would have a more equal base. Saying in the running of the country was a socialist economy, market economy. So yeah, both of them believe in Yugoslavia, but the concept of pan-Yugoslavism came from a bunch of, as I said, intellectuals, Croat intellectuals from the University of Zagreb, something that many Croats today would rather forget about, which is a pity because it's sad to see, the Ustasha and the NDH being rehabilitated, and this has been going on since the early 1990s. Okay, so Blackclad said hello. Eugene Seidel, hi Neil, best wishes for the new year to you and all. Best wishes to you as well, Eugene. Thank you very much. Tell us where you're from. Okay, Yugoslavia from Zoran. Yugoslavia means South Slav. Yeah, South Slavia. Yeah, the land of the South Slavs. Yeah, it does. Yeah, because South Slavs have been living there. They've been living there since what, the 7th or the 8th century. Okay, yeah, so that's where the concept of Yugoslavia came from. Gavrilo Princip was, for me personally, he's a hero. Gavrilo Princip, because he was fighting against, he was an anti-imperialist fighter against the Habsburg dynasty of Austria-Hungary, which had recently and illegally incorporated Bosnia-Herzegovina into the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1908, which triggered the Balkan crisis, the summer crisis of that year, and it set the wheels in motion for the First World War. Some people say that it led to the two Balkan Wars, 1912, 1913. Those did play a big part in it, but those two wars, the First and Second Balkan Wars, were in relation to the Ottoman Turkish presence in the Balkans. Whereas the 1908 crisis with Austria-Hungary, of course, dealt primarily with Austria-Hungary and the illegal annexation of Bosnia at the time. Okay. Okay. So yes, thanks for that, Zoran. Damien, what do you think about the proliferation of casinos in Belarus? I don't gamble, by the way, and I have an odd flutter on the horses. I'm personally against casinos. I'm personally against gambling in casinos. I'm against them, but those are the laws of the land here, and I have to respect them. It's as simple as that. Okay. Neil MacDonald, unelected and unaccountable. EU Commission sets the rules. Now watch them try and outlaw all populist opposition. Example, Le Pen or the AfD. Unpalatable as they are indeed. Look how they talk about Fico and Orban. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. It just highlights the sheer hypocrisy and double standards of these unaccountable and unelected bureaucrats in Brussels, the blob, as I like to call them. So yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, feet. So as you know, there's in the European Union, Russia has cut off the supply of gas to the European Union from today. Okay, so no gas in Moldova, and of course, this is about talking about the issue about natural gas and oil. So they're trying to the EU, von der Leyen, they're trying to decouple Russian gas from the European Union, trying to punish Hungary and Slovakia for simply looking after their own best interests. But the thing about it is that no matter what they do, Russian gas, Russian oil still comes into the European Union. It doesn't matter, because as you know, there are many middlemen out there who are making money and supplying Russian gas, Russian oil into the European Union. I think I read somewhere something like Russian gas accounts for, I think it's the second most in terms of volume per square cubic meter inside the European Union. So it's still getting it. So, but the irony is that first of all, Russian gas is coming into the European Union. Second is that European governments are paying a lot more for that gas. So Russia is making more profit for the gas, as are the middlemen, and ordinary European taxpayer within the EU gets stiffed. So it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy, Okay, so that's exactly what's going on. And in relation to the AfD or Le Pen, they are unpalatable as Meloni. But I have my misgivings about them. And we've seen what has happened to Giorgia Meloni in Italy. They talk a good game, but when they get into power, they're immediately muffled as such. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the AfD get banned, if they do perform well in the upcoming federal elections in Germany. Yeah, so it does happen. Okay. Moving on, Zoran, I condemning communism of getting crown over Russia, Imperium too. What do you mean there? Are you saying both are the same? They're not the same. Moving on, how are things going with decent jobs in Belarus? Yeah, economy here is ticking along fine. We're still here. I'm still living and working here in Belarus. Okay, yeah, and with further Chinese investment here in Belarus, I think this, and of course, Belarus is now a associate member or a candidate member of BRICS. I think that this economy, that Belarus is going towards the east, towards Russia and China. It's decoupling itself from the West, and I regard this as a good thing as such. Okay. Yeah. So BXB placho robota u nas. Yeah. Well, all depends on what you get. Damien, do you ever walk around Minsk by yourself late at night and think, how did I get here? What am I doing with myself? I've often thought about that. And I don't have to walk around Minsk in the middle of the night to do that. But in saying that, at least I can walk around Minsk in the middle of the night and not be afraid of being robbed, stabbed, shot, or mugged, like in many Western cities. Belarus cities here, towns here are super safe. I have walked many a time in my neighborhood in the wee hours of the morning, 2, 3, 4 a.m. Last night I was walking around Minsk at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the night, in the morning, and it was perfectly safe. I wouldn't even do that in my hometown of Waterford back home, to be honest. And that has a population of, Minsk is a population of 2 million people, whereas Waterford, my hometown, is a population of 50,000 people. So that tells you how things are back home. I'm not saying things are perfect here, far from it, but I will say this, I feel a lot safer here than I would if I was back home. Just to say that. So yeah, I often think about how did I get here? What am I doing with myself? So I often think about that. But as far as I'm concerned, I made the correct choice. And my advice to you would be, if at any time you have the opportunity to live, work, study, travel abroad, take it. I would highly recommend that you do it, because we only live once. That's it. Okay, so let's move on then. Ingrid Gustafsson, coming to you from Sweden. Hello to you in Sweden, Ingrid. Never been there. Where in Sweden are you from? Would you recommend me to visit Sweden? Maybe I could do a vlog from there sometime. From Scandinavia. Okay. Equalizer, have you been to Poland or Czechia? Do you think that their Russophobia is reasonable? Okay, good question there. No. First part of the question, I've never been to Poland or the Czech Republic, but I do plan to go there someday. I've been to Lithuania many times. Okay. Do you think that the Russophobia is reasonable or justifiable, if you want to use to extrapolate further? I think in relation to Poland, yes. I think there, when you look at Polish history, which I have covered on this channel, I think that there is a reasonable set of issues in relation to Russia. After all, Poland was subsumed into the Russian Empire in 1796 after the third partition of Poland, and I have covered this in this channel. I have covered this time period, especially with the famous Polish figure Tadeusz Kościuszko. So check back on the channel. There is still a big, quite a sizable Polish population here, but they have other issues, and Russia has done some pretty nasty things with Poland. But like with the UK and Ireland, I think it's time to just bury the hatchet and get on as normal neighbours, because I think that the current reactionary Polish government, especially their reactionary foreign minister, Sikorski, is just completely barmy, to be honest. It's time to start mending fences. It's time to sit down and start talking. And, because as I said it before, good fences make good neighbors. Time to open up trade, and time to have proper relations, diplomatic relations between both countries, and mutual trade, mutual prosperity will benefit everybody. So, yeah, I think the Russophobia has just gone off the charts, really, and it's completely, in many cases, it's just unjustifiable, to be honest. And that's just my answer to that. Okay. Azure, how are sanctions coming along on the YouTube channel? Well, as I said before, Azure, I've been completely demonetized. And so, yeah, nothing can be done there. But if you want to support me, you can on my Patreon. Just go to Patreon, Irish Partisan, and you can donate there to support the channel. Marshrutka Republic, have you ever been questioned by the Belarusian FSB? Well, there's no FSB here, it's KGB. No, I haven't. Haven't at all. I've been all around this country, been to many places, been to many towns, cities, villages around our place, covered a lot of events, and never been questioned. So you can take it from there. The Zorna from Sky, thank you, Irish Partisan. I would never bother my thoughts with this question without you. Well, thank you very much. Hvala mnogo. Brat. Okay. Marshrutka Republic, do you speak Irish? Yes, I do. It's my second language, by the way. I do speak Irish. I was lucky in that I grew up speaking it in my household every now and again. And it would be, I do plan to go back. I do plan to film in Ireland, especially in Irish speaking area, and talking about, so yeah, maybe talk to locals in the first language of the state, the Irish language. Okay, Ingrid, I lived in Uddevalla, 3 miles north of Gothenburg. Gothenburg, yeah. I speaking of Scandinavia, I had many years ago in Dublin. I had a girlfriend from Finland, but I never managed to go there to Finland. So I must check it out someday, and Sweden as well. And of course, my good friend Harold Balder from Norway. Damien, what's stopping you starting a family already in Belarus? Well, personal preferences. I've had my ups and downs in relationships, but I'm not going to start a family for the sake of it. It's about finding the right person and settling down. That's my philosophy. A lot of people don't do that here in Belarus. That's why the divorce rate is sky high in this country. Tammy Mullins, hello from America. Yes. Where in America are you watching, Tammy? Give us a shout. I have a brother of mine who's living in Washington State, near Seattle. I must go there someday, but I don't know if I'd be allowed in because I have many Belarusian stamps on my passport. Maybe not. Neil MacDonald. Yeah, Sikorsky is a total Atlanticist, I agree. His wife's dribbling output for the Atlantic Council must be where he gets his speeches from. Yeah, I mean, is his wife Anne Applebaum? Is that his wife? Because she's absolutely insane, that woman, Anne Applebaum. I think that's his wife. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Anne Applebaum is his wife. Yeah, yes, Radek Sikorsky, that's his wife. Yeah, Anne Applebaum. Yeah. So yeah, I read some of that. I've read some of the stuff in the Atlantic Council, and it's just completely insane, absolutely insane. But what do you expect from an organization that is funded by the arms industry, by the U.S. military industrial complex? Because I think, guys, I said it before and I'll say it again. If the United States ceased to exist in the morning, peace would break out all over the world. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, so thanks for that, Eugene. Anne Applebaum is Radek Sikorsky's wife, and both of them are absolutely insane. Yeah. Back to Marshuka Republic. Why do you think the divorce rate is so high in Belarus? I know Padershka Semya is one of the best in Europe. So it's talking about benefits, family benefits. Padershka Semya is the best in Europe. In terms of the amount of money families get, what do you think of that? Yeah, the social security net here is really good. Why there is a high divorce rate here in this country, I think a number of issues about this. Belarus is more of a matriarchal society than, say, Ireland is, which weighs more on the patriarchy side of things. And also there's the issue in relation to the Soviet period, particularly Brezhnev era, where they got the second wave feminism in, and also a lot of people, they just climb into marriage without thinking about it. Because I've been in a number of long-term relationships, both here and back home. And if I was going to give advice to any young person, if they're thinking about getting married, think twice before you do it. And if you are in a relationship with a woman and you are going to want to get married to her, live with her. I've done that. I've been there, bought the t-shirt, and then you'll know whether or not you're suited for each other. Because many couples here, they tend to meet in childhood or school, university, whatever, and it's just they rush into, or they meet 6 months later, they get married. Don't rush into it. Take it from me. Okay, I've been there. I've done that. Okay, so yeah, but it's up to the person themselves. If you're happy being single, I mean, you're happy. I talk to Charles Cather a lot, and he's happy being single, and if he's happy, he's happy. And then, what harm are they doing? I've been in relationships here. I've been in relationships back home. They haven't worked out, but it is as it is, basically. And it's trial and error. Eventually, someday, you will find that person that will gel, and you'll settle down and whatever, live the rest of your lives together. Okay, let's move on then. Okay, so thank you. Sort of on Sky, you finally caught you in the chat. Yeah, so indeed. Callie Fortune, Happy New Year from Silicon Valley in California. Like many Americans, some of my ancestors came from Cork in Ireland, which I have visited a few times. Want to go to Dublin to see the Phil Lynott statue. Yes, indeed. Where in County Cork are your ancestors from? I've been to Cork many times. West Cork is absolutely beautiful. Many years ago, I stayed in a place called Onahincha in West Cork. That was quite nice, by the way. I really enjoyed that. So West Cork is beautiful. Highly recommend that you check it out. So yeah. As for the Phil Lynott statue, Thin Lizzy, the greatest Irish rock band of all time, followed by Phil Lynott, a great artist. It's tragedy what happened to him. So yeah, let's check it out, guys. It's on just off Grafton Street, the Phil Lynott statue. I have been there many, many times. Yeah, so Phil Lynott, Thin Lizzy, what a band. And of course, not to forget Rory Gallagher. Sam Paris, do you think Trump will push the conflict to an end, or will he push it an escalation to World War III? Good question. I don't think Trump wants World War III, to be honest. I think in relation to the SMO in Ukraine, what Trump wants is he wants to freeze the conflict. So basically, impose some kind of a solution on Russia. As I said, a conflict freeze, like in East or West Germany or North South Korea, and move in NATO peacekeepers into Ukraine and freeze the conflict for about 20, 30 years, and then reactivate it then when Ukraine is built up enough, and once again use it as a battering ram against Russia. I don't think the Russians will never go for that, to be honest. So I think it's going to drag on for a while. I do think it will end in a Russian victory, and the thing about it is, guys, I said once again, this conflict was avoidable. If only Bill Clinton had listened to the advice that George Kennan had given him in the 1990s. Don't expand NATO eastwards. We wouldn't be in this mess. We wouldn't have had the conflict in Yugoslavia. We wouldn't have had Kosovo and Metohija illegally separated from Serbia. We wouldn't have had the mess in Ukraine. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. So, yeah, Trump is not going to end the conflict. The conflict will end on the battlefield on Russia's terms. Eugene Seidel, anyone who writes Trump equals Stalin, Hitler, and Mussolini as Abbottom has to be nuts. Yeah, as I said, look, Radek Sikorski and Am Applebaum are absolutely insane. I'll leave it at that. Tammy says, I hope Trump leaves Panama alone. I do indeed, yeah. It's interesting about Panama and the Panama Canal. Back in 1903, the United States backed an insurgency separatist movement in the province of Panama, which at the time was part of Colombia. So Panama is a creation of itself of U.S. imperialism, as is the so-called Kosovo. Okay, so yeah, that's why would Trump want to annex Panama or Greenland? I don't know. It's just insane. Okay. Let's move on then. Yeah, Tammy Mullins, my man, or your mother's passed away, or your man, whatever. Tammy, my man passed away. Your husband or partner passed away 2010, and I'm loving the single life. Well, good for you, Tammy. Damien said, do you think Belarusian village girls are the most ideally suited in the world for starting a family? That's ridiculous. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's all down to the person. Okay, I'm not going to engage in any kind of stereotypes. Okay. Azure said, we like your... Hang on. Cali Fortune. We won't take Panama, but there is a clause in the treaty that allows us to take back the canal, basically, if it's not being run fairly. Is there a clause in the Panama treaty that Jimmy Carter signed back in 1979? I'd like to check that out. So, Callie, if you can give me that, I'll have a look at it, which says that the United States can take back the Panama Canal, because there was a treaty signed in 1977. Jimmy Carter, who passed away a couple of days ago. So yeah, if you can find that for me, I'll be happy to check it out. And of course, Canada as well. You know, we're going to annex Canada. To be honest, guys, I wouldn't wish that on you American guys. You know, one Justin Trudeau is enough. Let's move on then. Ajar says, we like your videos, and we don't want to lose your channel because of sanctions. Do you think the sanctions will go away, and how you support your channel besides support on Patreon? Well, you know, just I wasn't making a lot of money on this channel, just like beer money and so on. But yeah, you can support me on Patreon. So just go to Irish Partisan, support me in my endeavors. Okay. So will the sanctions go away? The only way the sanctions will go away is, I don't know, when the United States has completely destroyed the place, like they've done in Syria, like they've done in the Middle East, and like what they're trying to do in Ukraine, and what they're trying to do in Latin America. Okay, so even then, the sanctions probably won't be lifted. Just, you know, there's no compromising with the imperialists, with Western imperialists, US and British imperialists. Trust me, as an Irish Republican, from an Irish Republican background, I know. Okay, Cali Fortune says some just left from the port of Cork, but a few actually from Cork City. Yeah, so when did they leave? Was it during the famine? So tell me about that. Tammy Mullins, Trump wants Canada to become the 52nd or the 51st state. Yeah. Honestly, guys, my American subscribers, of which I have quite a few, I wouldn't even I wouldn't put that on you guys. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't wish it on you guys. Justin Trudeau, oh boy. So let's go to the questions. Zoran Fansky, it's communism to blame for all the wars among Slavs. No, it's not. It's Western imperialism, not communism. Start reading, Zoran. Okay. I'm planning Zanto Miltenberg. I'm planning to visit Belarus sometime during spring this year. Is it worth to be in the country during Victory Day? Yes, it is, because 2025 is the 80th anniversary of Den Pobedi Victory Day. Highly recommended that you come. I'm going to do a special on that, on the 80th anniversary of Victory Day, because this is 2025 and it's the 80th anniversary of the victory over fascism. Okay, getting back to the Panama Canal, on YouTube you can find a debate between Ronald Reagan and William F. Buckley over whether we should give the Panama Canal to Panama or not. Reagan argued against. Recommend all check it out. William F. Buckley, wasn't he a CIA asset, US state asset, William Buckley? I think he was. I actually have seen some of his videos on YouTube. Okay, Mashkut Republic. What's your favorite spot in Minsk for chilling out during the day? Park Chelyuskitsev. I love that place. Damien, if Trudeau expressed sympathy for Tito and Marxist-Leninist ideas, would that go some way to change your mind on him? Silly. He'd never do that. He's an out and out rad lib. No way. He'd never do that. And even if he did, I'd still have my suspicions about him. Zoran von Sky, I think the communism was planted in East Europe. It wasn't planted in East Europe. It came from the people. You should start reading. You should start reading about Dimitar Blagojev, the famous Bulgarian communist, the founder of the Bulgarian Communist Party. You know, and also start reading about your own history, Yugoslav history as well, and start reading about the struggles, the labor struggles during the Austro-Hungarian times, the revolutions of 1848, and of course, post First World War Yugoslavia. Okay, yeah, so moving on then. Cali for Tune, the one from Cork City, I believe, 1890s. Okay, so during the Land League, the Land Revolt. Kelly for Tune says, yeah, William F. Buckley was host of the Firing Line program. Yes, I remember that. William Buckley, and was the kind of intellect we are missing today. He was a very good speaker, good intellect, but I disagreed with a lot of what he said. Okay. Damien said, if push came to shove, would you take up arms and join a paramilitary group? Attacked from the West. Yeah, good question, that. So, hopefully that never happens. But if Belarus is attacked from the West by these fascists, of course, I will support Belarus against the fascists from the West, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. Igor in Russia. Hello. Planning my Belarus trip. Happy New Year. So nothing got him, Igor. Check out his channel, guys. It's a good channel. Igor is currently in Russia. Highly recommend that you visit Russia. Yep. Great place. Loved it there. Okay. So we're going to finish things up, guys, very, very shortly in the next couple of minutes. Please share, like, and subscribe. And you can also support me on my Patreon channel, okay, because I'm demonetized. Okay. So hope to see you in Belarus, Igor. Yep. Tammy Mullins, I would like to visit Belarus. Yes, you can, Tammy. Get on the plane. You can get a visa in Vilnius. You're a U.S. citizen. Adam, is it okay? Sorry, Ajar, I'm trying to visit Belarus from the States. Because there's like a pain in the butt. Many flights don't fly there. Any advice to get there from this part of the world? Yeah, fly to Vilnius and get the bus from Vilnius to Minsk. Okay. Yes, so Igor in Russia. One way to show middle finger to Google is to make the unmonetized when uploading. Yeah. I'm going to do that in future. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's leave it at that for tonight, guys. I just want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in tonight into the live stream. As I said, Happy New Year. Sanabam Godam to each and every single one of you. And best of luck. I hope 2025 will be a good year for you guys. Stay tuned, because on this channel I will be uploading a lot more material than I did last year. I have a lot more free time than what I had in 2024. I have 2 to 3 videos to go up in the next week or 2 or so. So there's going to be a lot more content going up on this channel. So from Minsk, it is currently nearly 11:30 in the evening. I've been online for about an hour and a half. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining me here on the show. The recording will be available for a couple of hours, whatever, until YouTube decide to delete it. So that's it. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you sometime soon. Have a happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of the holiday. And from Minsk, it is Do Svidania, Do Popachenia, Slonga Fol, and goodbye. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.